Good evening and welcome, football fans. It's the ILFL Soccer Night Show on a Monday night with me, David Joseph. I've got my footy friends with me to discuss, debate and go over all the action from yesterday and last Thursday's Veterans League. I'm going to keep my chat to a minimum and show you a bit of action. We're going to start with the second division game yesterday. Beaumont Youth were in action against Al Mazan in the second division. I think all it's left for them to do now is to try and win the league. It's neck and neck between them and Robin Hood Tigers. What could they do to Al Mazan on a Sunday afternoon? We've got the highlights for you here now. Beaumont Youth versus Al Mazan. Do you know what would have been good there if we'd have just stopped the highlights and just said to you, guess how many goals the cameraman got? I believe he got 6, but in the end, training game for Beaumont. Poor old Al Mizan, what has happened to you? Conceded 65 goals in a season. And in most other years, in most other divisions, that would put you rock bottom. But amazingly, you're managing to stay mid-table. So well done to you for doing so. Let's look at the rest of the games and the results in the second division from yesterday. Well, so we'll skip the one at the top. Beaumont put in 12 goals past Al Mizan to their 1. St Catherine's under 21 versus Riverside. That looked like that was the game in the second division. 4-2 it went to Riverside, and I'm sure it was end-to-end and very close, and both teams will claim that they could have won it. We might hear more from Nanu about that one. And Redcoat beat the Tower Hamlets B team by 3 goals to 1, and that leaves the table looking like this, with Robin Hood Tigers also getting a home win and getting 3 points. They are virtually up, but will they go up as champions? 31 points from 12 games with 2 to go. Beaumont Youth hanging on to them, hanging on, but is it too little, too late? Rashid, discuss.
Well, obviously, it's in Robin Hood's hand, basically. But for me, to be second and more or less with the game to go to get promoted, that is a success in itself.
I think you've been saying it all season.
Good debut season for a bunch of average age 19, 20 at the most, playing good football and working hard. They turn up. We get 30, 35 turning up on training on Tuesday in the cold winter. So they train hard. They give it 100%. The rewards are obviously there to be seen with the league and in the cup. So I think credit goes to the management, Shakir and Mohan, giving the youth a platform and working hard in terms of playing the football the right way. And I think it's surprising, and we're proud of the youth team. And you know, best luck for them next season, and see what happens there.
Has, looking forward to their game next week, which is semi-final, League Cup, sponsored by Tower Hamlets Homes. Which is the better preparation? To have lots of goals and bring up your confidence, or have a tougher game to steal that match fitness and match practice in time for a big game next week?
I think they've sort of come to acceptance that, I mean, Robin Hood are now playing the final 2 games against the bottom 2 teams. So there's a bit of an acceptance from Beaumont Youth that the league might be a bit of a stretch for them, even though second place is cemented for them, in my opinion. And I think Robin Hood will really, really have to falter here. You know, just for them to get a draw and a win, and then Beaumont to win those 2, the goal difference is, it's highly unlikely to happen. So I think now, Beaumont Youth, as Rash was saying, it's a credit they've done that well. Semi-finals, I think that's something to look forward to. It's only happened once before where a lower division team has gone on to win the cup. If we go back, what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I think I was at that final at Mile End where Poplar at the time, they won the cup final there. So I think it would be brilliant for Beaumont Youth to win it, because at the time, Poplar were a team, they were winning everything. They won their division, they won their cup, they're flying. In this case, Beaumont come in as a debut team, they're second in the league, so they're not exactly flying in the league, but it's the beauty of the cup that they're upholding for us, which is what all of us are loving.
Credit to Beaumont Youth, as we said. I think whatever happens, as we've heard many times on this panel, second place debut season, semi-final of a cup, and I'm not saying that you're going to get there or you're not, but semi-finals and second place, credit to you guys. Well worth mentioning more than once on this show. Let's see where you go. Robin Hood Tigers, let's not forget about you. Had an amazing season. We've spoken about you once or twice over the last couple of years. You've gone from 0 to heroes now, and if the title is yours in the second division, good luck to you. The rest of the teams in the second division, we can discuss at length. Nanu, do you want to say something very quickly? I mean, we called it a bit of a derby game, highly entertaining game. It was
a derby against the bottom 2. All I can say, David, was that there's still a lot of changes to be made, a lot of improvement. I know we made a lot of changes to
but it's getting
the
there.
team.
It must be getting there.
It's getting there, but I think it was too little, too late. I think it's definitely a lessons learned. So if there's any weaknesses in the team, my advice is to get it sorted as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you leave it too late, then that's it. The season would be over by the time you do catch up.
Do you know what? There is hope. You know what? There might even be a point on the cards for St Catherine's under 21. Let me not jinx them, and let me say no more about that. Let's talk about the first division. Here are the results from yesterday's first division games. Reach Out doing what Reach Out do, back to normal business, I suppose. 9 goals to 2, they beat St Catherine's, but I think I hear they were 2 goals down very early, and only because of 2 men being sent off in that game for St Catherine's made it a little bit easier for Reach Out. Bow, impressive win, 3-1. Looking forward to their semi-final game this week. They get 3 points in their match. SCTA 7-2 against Weavers, and Stepney B 3-0. They lost to Burdett. Maybe a minor little upset there, maybe expected a little bit more from Stepney B, but no matter. It leaves the tables looking like this, with SCTA still with a game in hand over Reach Out, and they're looking ominous at the top. Reach Out hanging on to them in second place. Bow waiting for somebody to slip up, but played a game more than Reach Out above them, and it may just have gone a little bit too far for them. Shaquille, I'm going to come to you right down the end. We've seen what SCTA can do. We've seen what Reach Out do. Bow in the cup. Which is the bigger achievement for Bow, would you say? To now make a final of the League Cup, or maybe even trying to get second place in the First Division?
I think it would be the cup. I think there's something that they haven't been in the cup final, so something that they've yet to taste in the cup final, yet to play in mileage. So I think it would be the cup, but they would fancy the second place. They're doing well at the moment. They beat Bond Juniors, so I think they'll go for the cup, which is more important, I think.
Okay. We're going to move on very, very quickly now, even though there's lots to say about it. But here we are with the Premier Division. All action here. Let's look at those results. Beaumont grinding out another victory, and like they said, sometimes the good teams, they just have to win ugly, but they get another 3 points over Bromley. 3 points, 1-0. Leytonstone going down by 5 goals to 4 against Ireland. Ouch. West End beating Sire by 3 goals to 1, bouncing back from their defeat against Tigers, and Tigers going in the opposite direction. Impressive against West End the week before, going down by 3 goals to 2 against Stepney, and that keeps the whole title race alive at the top once again. It's 3 teams in it, but is that West End or is it Beaumont are the third team in it now, Rash?
I think the advantage lies with West End with 2 games in hand, but saying that, they still need to win those 2 games, and unfortunately it's against Beaumont, I believe, the 2 fixtures. So I think Stepney, it was a great win yesterday. Been on a bad run in January, played 3, lost 3 against 3 other positions, but I think yesterday they had to win to make sure the Tigers have to fight for the title right to the end. I think that's opened up the whole division itself. So interesting way to see what happens in the next couple of weeks in the league.
A very famous manager once said it's all about points in the bag, and Tigers have them at the moment, and if they win all their games, there's nothing that anybody else can do about it. We look forward to what happens in the Premier Division in the coming weeks. You heard me mention once or twice about games that are coming up this week. That's the League Cup, sponsored by Tower Hamlets Home. It's our major trophy that we have right out here in the front of the podium. It's the one we're going to be talking about in the next part of the show. That's next week's fixtures and the rest of the fixtures, as well as the Vets League, which we're going to talk about. Nanu has got some stats primed and ready for you to discuss. So we'll be back right after this short break on the ILFL Soccer Night Show.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night।